Hello everyone, it's Karina with Karina Loves to Plan. Thank you for joining me in my little corner of the internet where I talk all things planners, fountain pens, and fountain pen inks. I have a little bit of a different video today. I wanted to basically take you through my thought process when it comes to me wanting to sell a pen, but these are also the pens that I am considering selling from my collection as of today. And I just want to say that when it comes to me thinking of selling pens from my collection, one of the main things that I want to say, or the caveat to this, is that it's not because the pen is bad in any way or in bad quality. These are all still good pens, and I wouldn't sell them on if they didn't work well. I think just tastes change over time, and also me personally, when it comes to my collection is very fluid. Like my collection never looks the same from one year to the next. And also, I'm the type of person where I'm more of a user rather than a collector, and I would rather pens move to another person who is actually going to use them versus them just sitting in a drawer not being used. So those are my, I guess, caveats to this whole video here. But I wanted to take you through the thought process of what I go through when I think about selling a pen, and then the pens that I am thinking of selling. And then at the end of this video, I will post at the end of the video which pens I am selling. And if you are interested in any of these, you can look in the description below for my email. I will not be responding to comments in this video. If you are wanting to buy a pen, please use the email in the description if you would like to purchase or inquire about any of these. All right, let's get started. So before I look at the pens that are sitting in my drawer here, I want to take you through my little questions that I think about when I'm selling a pen. And really the first question that I think of when it comes to a pen, I'm going to put this down so I'm not holding this up the whole time. The first question is, do I still want to reach for this pen? When it comes to my pen collection, I do a rotation to make sure that I'm using all of my pens evenly. And then I ask myself, when I get to this pen's turn, am I excited to use it? Do I still want to reach for it? And with the pens that have come into this tray that I'm going to show you now, some of them I need to think about whether it still excites me to be able to use them. Number 2, will I regret not having this pen in my collection? Number 3, can I easily repurchase this pen? Number 4, is there another pen I want more than this pen? Meaning that kind of one in, one out situation. Number 5, is this pen still to my taste or style? Because as I said, my tastes change over time. And then 6, is this pen still a BAM? Meaning that pens don't come into my collection unless they meet that BAM criteria. And the BAM criteria are are they the right price, the right pen model, meaning that like they meet the criteria for comfort level, the color and things like that, and just the overall feeling. So there's a lot involved in a BAM, and over time that can change as well. So I have to ask myself, is this pen still a BAM? So I'm going to go through the pens that are currently in the tray and see if these questions meet that and help me decide whether or not I actually want to sell this pen. I also want to say that not everyone is going to be exactly like me. We're all different in how we handle this hobby. So the way that I handle my collection is going to be very different from how other people handle their collection. So this is the criteria for myself, not necessarily a prescriptive question answer rule for anyone else trying to figure out how they want to sell their pens or whether or not they do want to sell their pens. I know some people, when it comes to their collection, as soon as they buy a pen, it's never going to leave their collection. And that's fantastic. That works for you. For me, it doesn't work for me that way because I am the type of user with fountain pens where I want to make sure that the pens that I do purchase are actually being used. And I am also the type of purchaser where I take a long time to say yes or no to a purchase. I'm very intentional about the pens that I purchase, but I'm also very intentional about the pens that I want to sell. All right, so let's get to the first pen that I'm thinking of selling. The first pen that I am thinking of selling is this Walltown pens. This is in the Watts model, and this is in the Glinda. I purchased this a couple of years ago, and it is actually currently inked because I am inking it up. I have it inked for the month of June. It currently has an extra fine nib in there, and it's just beautiful. It's absolutely stunning. I love the fun pink of it all. And it's also a very, very comfortable pen. So why am I wanting to sell this? So going through my questions here, do I still want to reach for this pen? You know, when it came time to choose the pens for June, I knew it was time to ink up a Walltown pens. I have two actually, and I wasn't always choosing these first when it came to choosing the ones that I wanted to ink for each month. And I have it inked for June, and it's not one that I'm even reaching for as much when I have it inked. I have this inked right now with, what is it that's inked in here? I need my cheat sheet. I have this currently inked with, you'd think I'd know that off by heart, and I do not. This one is inked with Androllium Taulet Mothworm, and I love that ink, but I'm still not reaching for this as much as I should do. And I think for me that says a lot about whether or not I want to keep a pen in my collection. There is absolutely nothing wrong with this pen. It's fun, it's beautiful, it writes well, and it's comfortable in the hand, but it's not one that I'm really wanting to reach for. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? And the more that I think about it, I don't think I would regret not having this pen in my collection. So that would be, no, I wouldn't regret it. Can I easily repurchase this pen? I think so. I don't think this is one of those materials that is hard to get a hold of. I see this material actually pretty regularly on Walltown Pen's site. So if I did ever want to repurchase this in the future, I'm sure that I could. Now, is there another pen I want more than this pen? There are a couple of pens that I do have my eye on, and I definitely would want those pens more than this pen. So yes. Is this pen still to my taste and style? You know, when I think about the pens that are currently on my wish list or the pens that I've recently purchased, this one isn't really fitting into that mold. I do love the shimmer in this, but I think my taste is moving a little bit more to the pastels or the browns, or a little bit more, what do I want to say, classic. There's nothing wrong with this pen, but I think just my taste is moving away from that. And is this pen still a BAM? No, I don't think so. I don't think so. Unfortunately, no, I don't think so. So this may be one that I am selling. Now, because it is currently inked, I will probably not, if I do sell this, I won't be shipping it out until the end of June, but it's definitely on the chopping block. So I would probably, you know what? I think I will be selling this one. This is the Walltown pens in the Watts model in Glinda. This one will be sold. So if you are interested in that, I will list all of the prices down in the description below, and then you can send me an email. All right, the next pen that is on the chopping block is another Walltown pens. This is in, I forget the model in this, but this is in the Strata Quartz with the different color finials, the smoke finials, I believe it is. And I really love this material. I really love the Strata Quartz material, and I'm wondering, do I need to keep this? Especially since I also have the Strata Quartz material in this Leonardo in the matte finish. Now, I remember when the Strata Quartz material was really hard to get a hold of, and then suddenly every maker was doing pens in this material. And it's a beautiful material and I love it. But now I'm like, do I really need two? And I don't think that I do. I don't think that I need two. Do I still want to reach for this pen? It's a lovely pen. It feels great in the hand. It comes with a fine nib, really beautiful pen, but I'm not really reaching for it as much as I thought I would. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? The more that I think about it, I don't think I would regret not having this pen in my collection, because I still have one pen in that Strata Quartz material, so I wouldn't be missing out completely. Can I easily repurchase this pen? I don't know if the Strata Quartz material is still as readily available as it was maybe a year ago, but I don't know if I would want to repurchase this pen actually. So I guess it comes down to, would I want to repurchase this pen? And if I did, is it easily one that I could repurchase? So I don't know, but I don't think I would want to repurchase it. Is there another pen I want more than this pen? Yes. Yes. Is this pen still to my taste and style? I definitely think these finials are to my taste and style. Like, I think if I had a pen with just this material, I would love that. But overall, I'm moving away from this. And then, is this pen still a BAM? No, it's not. So this pen will be on the chopping block. The next pen I am thinking of selling is, yes, my Zodiac pen co in the Cancer model, and this is in the 3 Olives Martini. And I have some guilt in selling this one. This one was made specifically for me by Bart of Zodiac Pen Co, and he held on to this blank for me for a good year until I decided which model I wanted. And it's a gorgeous pen. It actually currently has a Jowo medium architect nib on here, and it's probably one of the first iterations of the Cancer model. So it's a medium architect on here, and unfortunately for me, it's just the Cancer model is not comfortable anymore. Well, I don't think it really ever was comfortable, but there's something about the way that I grip the pen that it's just not comfortable for me. It's a beautiful pen, and I do love the swirls of the 3 Olives Martini, but I have not been reaching for this. So do I still want to reach for this pen? I haven't been reaching for this pen, and I feel bad that I haven't been reaching for this pen because it's one that is near and dear to my heart, but I don't want this sitting around in my collection if I'm not using it. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? This one is a tough one to answer because there's a lot of sentimentality tied to this pen, but I don't know if I would regret it more, or if I would regret having it in my collection and not being used more than I would regret not having it. So I think when I look at the different levels of regret, and some people probably like, you're way overthinking this, but I think I would regret having this pen in my collection more and having it and not being used versus regret not having it. So I will be selling this pen. It's going to be a little bit more expensive because it does have that medium architect nib on there as well. I will, again, list the prices down at the bottom. All right, the next pen that I am selling, I didn't think that I would want to sell this one, but this is the TWSBI Eco in the Espresso Bronze, and it is part of that breakfast collection with the cream rose gold and the cafe bronze. Gosh, I don't remember. And part of me is like, do I really want to separate the three? But I actually just purchased the root beer in the bronze, and it's actually currently with Kirk's Beer of Penrealm, and he's grinding the nib into a needlepoint for me. So I'm basically purchasing the root beer bronze in place of the espresso. I like the brown transparent better, and I think when it comes to the nibs, this has a fine nib. This has an extra fine nib, and I don't need 2 extra fine. So the root beer is going to have that needle point, and that helps me to justify essentially selling on the espresso bronze. Oh, I didn't even answer the rest of the questions when it came to the 3 Olives Martini here. But anyway, so do I still want to reach for this pen? Probably not as much, actually, unfortunately. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? No, I won't. Can I easily repurchase this pen? No, it's not easily repurchasable from what I gather, but I'm kind of okay with that because I don't think I will repurchase it. Is there another pen I want more than this pen? Yes, the root beer. The root beer bronze I want more than this pen. And is this pen still to my taste and style? A little bit, but I feel like, am I moving away from brown pens? I think I am. And is this pen still a BAM? No, it's not. So this is going into the sell pile. But I need to finish the rest of the questions for this. So can I easily repurchase the 3 Olives Martini? No, I don't think I can. I don't know if this material is still as easily available as it was maybe a year ago. Is there another pen I want to purchase more than this pen? Yes, unfortunately. Is this pen still to my taste and style? Not as much as it was as a couple of years ago. And is this pen still a BAM? No, it's not. So yeah, again, this one is going to be sold. All right, the next pen that is on the chopping block is this Benu Haute Lustre. And this one I have from Benu, and this has a fine nib. And I just think that I've tried so many Benus. I've tried a Euphoria, I've tried the Talisman, and now the Haute collection. And while it is probably out of all of the Benu pens I've tried the most comfortable, I just don't think Benu pens are for me. I think it's a beautiful pen. It writes well, but I'm just kind of meh about it. You know, it's not one that is really a BAM for me. Do I still want to reach for this pen? I'd rather reach for other pens instead of this one. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? I don't know, because I think I love the way that the shimmers are in this pen, but is this pen still to my taste and style? No, I don't think so. Can I easily repurchase this pen if I change my mind? Yes. Is there another pen I want more than this pen? Yes. And is this pen still a BAM? No. So I will be selling this one off, and once this is uninked, I will be sending that off. So then the next one, there's 2 more. The next one here is, this is the Laban 325 in snow, and this has an extra fine nib. This is a beautiful pen, really classic looking, but also these are quite well priced, and it's a very comfortable pen. That Jowo number 6 steel nib writes really well, and I just love the classic look of this pen. But am I still reaching for the pen? No, not really, actually. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? No, because it is a pen that you can easily repurchase. So these two actually kind of tie together. And then, is there another pen I want more than this pen? Yes, there is. Is this pen still to my taste and style? A little bit. I feel like the very classic white cream color is still within my style, but the overall look of the pen, I think the pens that I'm going for now are a little bit more sleek in style, a little bit more subtle. I feel like the cap is really big and chunky, but it's even without the cap, it's a really, really comfortable pen. There's nothing wrong with this pen. I think it's just, it's no longer to my taste and style, and it's no longer a BAM, unfortunately. So the Laban 325 in the snow will end up being sold. It is really a beautiful pen, and Laban actually does the writing on the writing with these well. And just as a reminder, this is a Jowo number 6 extra fine nib. So that is the Laban in snow. And last but not least, this one I'm still split on as to whether or not I want to sell this. This is the Laban Rosa in cracked ice. And the reason that I'm split on whether or not I want to sell this is because of the fact that it took me so long to decide whether or not I wanted this. And then when I finally did purchase it, it took so long to arrive because it wasn't in stock. And I had to wait for it to be restocked, and it took a few months for it to finally get to me. And now that I do have it, while I think it's lovely, I don't know if it's my style anymore. It is currently inked this month, and when I say I have to force myself to use pens in my collection, that should tell me something about the place of this pen in my collection. Do I still want to reach for this pen? If I wasn't going through my rotations, I probably would not be reaching for this pen. Will I regret not having this pen in my collection? Part of me would regret not having this pen in my collection just because of how long it took me to decide on purchasing this, but also on how long it took me to finally purchase. So there is part of me that would regret not having this pen in my collection, but there's also the part of me that's like, it had its moment in my collection and I enjoyed it for a while I had it, and I think now it's time to move it along. Can I easily repurchase this pen? I don't think it is very easily repurchasable now, but maybe Laban have changed the way that they are restocking this. Maybe this material is a little bit more accessible than it was before. Is there another pen I want more than this pen? Yes, there is. Is this pen still to my taste and style? I went through a whole phase of loving every single cracked ice pen or resin that was out there, and I was going to absolutely fill my collection with just the cracked ice or the cracked resins. But now I think that with the way that my collection is going, cracked ice, cracked resins like this are beautiful, but I don't necessarily think that that's, like, for example, this is not a pen that I'm selling, by the way, just for an example. I love the simple, clean look of this pen. I also love the simple, clean look of this pen as well. And this is just looking at what's currently inked. I mean, I have this currently inked and I love the swirls in this, but it's a little bit more of a toned down swirl versus other swirls that you see out there. So that's the direction that my collection is going. So I don't think this is to my taste and style as it used to be. And then, is this pen still a BAM? Unfortunately, no, it's not. So, ooh, this will be sold. This comes with an extra fine, I believe this is a Bach nib, actually, not a Jowo nib. Okay, so here are all the pens that I am thinking of selling. And if you are interested in these, please email me at my email address below with your name, email, and address, and I will reply to you with a PayPal invoice. And if you do not pay within 24 hours, I will move on to the next buyer as well. So the first pen here that I am selling is the Walltown pens. This is the Onslow model. This is Strata Quartz with the rose quartz finials. My apologies. And this comes with a fine nib. And I am pricing this at $175 US. And all of these prices include tracked shipping to US and Canada. So that is the Walltown pens Onslow Strata Quartz with a fine nib for $175 USD. The next one I am selling is the Walltown pens. This is the Watts model in Glinda. This currently has an extra fine nib, and just know that this is currently inked. So if this is purchased, I won't be able to ship it until July 2nd. And I will be selling this for $150 USD. And again, that includes tracked shipping to US and Canada. The next one is the Zodiac Pen Co. in the Cancer model, and this is in the 3 Olives Martini. This currently has a medium architect nib, and I will be selling this for $225 US dollars, and the extra cost is for the extra cost of the specialty grind nib. And don't worry, I will list all of these in the description below. The next one is the TWSBI Eco in the Espresso Bronze. This actually has I'm just looking at this. Yeah, this has an extra fine nib, and this is going to be selling for $50 US. Then we have the Benu Haute Lustre. This has a fine nib, and I will be selling this one for $150 USD. And then we have the Laban Laban 325 in Snow. This has an extra fine Jowo nib, and I'm selling this one for $100 USD. And then last but not least, the Laban Rosa in Cracked Ice with an extra fine Bach nib on here, and I'm selling this for $100 USD. Just like the Benu, the Glinda, and the Cracked Ice, because these are currently inked. I will, once June is done, I will clean these and ship them out as of July 2nd. All right, so all of the information about all of these pens will be in the description below. Again, if you are interested in these, please send me an email with all the details below as well, and I will reach out to you that way. I will not be responding to buyer requests or buying requests in the comments, so please make sure you email me if you are interested in buying. All right, but that is it for me. Thank you all so much for watching. I hope this was helpful in how I walk through being able to make that decision for selling a pen. And this for me comes and goes. Some months I'm very happy with my collection. Other times I just take a look at it and think, okay, it's time to let go of some of these. So let me know your thoughts on the selling of pens. Is this a process that you do, or selling pens are not something you do at all? You know, let me know. And also as a reminder, please be kind as well. All right, thank you all so much for watching and have yourselves a great day.